Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. I will try not to hit the microphone. Here, let me take a moment now to do all the loud stuff with the mic cable. Okay. So, I have adjusted my mic cable. That's part one. I will be collecting the timestamps for the different signs, and once the live stream has completed broadcasting, I will post those down in the description of the video. I will be taking yes/no questions. Those are $5. It's basically like $5 a card. I can also do a 3-card reading for $15, and you can just do that by using Super Chat, which is greatly appreciated. I also wanted to mention that channel members can ask questions for free. Thank you so much for joining me. I am using OBS for this live stream. And so, I do have a chat window up. But if I miss you, that's why. And I do apologize. I am working out the bugs. Let's start out by cleansing the space. I'm going to use the singing bowl first. And then I will be using my crackling candle. And what I'd like for you to do now is just relax, sit back, and start focusing on your intentions. spice, though. And if you would, just focus on the flame. Focus on the flame. And think about what it is that you would like to achieve over the month of December and into January of 2021. January of 2022. I'm already messing up the year, and we're not even there yet. Sorry, I didn't mean for that to be loud. Put that right there. As you can see, I have a good deal of my music equipment set up around me. This is the spring suitcase. Over here, I have my noise cart, and these are a couple of synthesizers that I built myself. To be fair, this was a couple of Fuzz Factory clone pedals that I had purchased, and I put them into a feedback loop with each other. The name I've given this instrument is not appropriate for use in this live stream, but just know that it's a reference to a sex act in which both parties are giving mutual pleasure. And is, in fact, a reference to the feedback loop in which the two circuits are wired. I will be using the Moon Baby Tarot for the readings this evening. With clarification from my Hellraiser trading cards. I made the back for these cards myself, using very fine crochet thread. So it is 8:30 now. We have set the mood, and I will begin the Aries reading. I beg your pardon. We're starting with Libra. I did the first 6 signs last week, so that video will be linked at the end of this one, and possibly I could put a card up here somewhere. Libra, let's find out what's in store for you for the months and weeks ahead. Let's see. The first card I get for you, Libra, is the Two of Wands. Very balanced. This is a time of planning. It is a time of anticipation. You can see that the figure on this card is holding a globe in their hands. This can speak to planning a trip or planning interstate commerce. All kinds of things would fall into this category. The next card for you is the Page of Cups. Now, notice the Page of Cups is a youngish kind of a person. There's a lot of hope and optimism there. And the Page of Cups is holding this cup with a fish sticking out of it. This is an offering. It can be an emotional offering, but it can also be a job offering. The fish is an image of prosperity and money. The next card I get for you, Libra, is the Eight of Cups. Now, the Eight of Cups, as you can see, is about somebody walking away from something which is almost complete. Now, this person may know what they're walking toward, but we, the viewer of the card, cannot see the path ahead for them. We do, however, see the Tower of Cups behind them. We can see what they're walking away from, but we can't see what they're walking toward. There could be planning of a departure for you. Not just a trip, but leaving one situation in favor of another. This may be because of an offer that you have received. Libra, very fortuitous so far. This card is very exciting. It is, of course, the Death card. Now, here on the Death card, we have the figure of the Emperor represented down here. We have the Empress with her child. We have the Hierophant. Back here in the distance, we have represented something which looks similar to the two towers on the moon card. All of these things you are leaving behind: the authority figures, the social mores, even feminine creative forces, in favor of an uncertain path. I would link this Death card closely in this reading to the Eight of Cups. The next card coming through for you tonight, Libra, is the Hanged Man. This is a very interesting progression. Backward from the Death card. The Hanged Man is sacrificing his time and energies in order to obtain some kind of enlightenment or for the betterment of an overall situation, even if it means to his detriment. The Hanged Man is a time of stasis. Such that you might very much be anticipating this change. But it is not yet ready for you. You're going to like this card a lot, Libra. The final card for your reading from the tarot deck is the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups is emotional fulfillment. Look at how happy everyone is. do notice, however, and take to heart that although the gentleman has his arm around his lady's waist, they are not looking at each other. They are looking at the attainment up here. Don't lose sight of the people who are important in your life. Accomplishments, though important, are not more or less important than companionship. So now let's see what is to come from the Hellraiser trading cards. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Excuse my stomach noises, I apologize. This card is from Hellraiser 3, and it is titled Pandemonium. You can see here that this gentleman has had his face sliced up with CDs, and this gentleman here was unfortunate enough to be playing a game of billiards when Pinhead entered the boiler room. The patrons try to flee, but Pinhead causes the exit doors to slam shut and lock. The helpless are trapped like lambs in a slaughterhouse. Something very interesting I noticed immediately about this card is that the two billiard balls inside this gentleman's mouth, one of them is the 8-ball and one of them is the cue ball. One is white and one is black. The tarot uses these symbols of duality quite a bit throughout the imagery. We did not explicitly see the Moon card or the High Priestess card here, but it's important to note their vibrations within the Two of Wands and the Death card. Sorry, I'm still getting used to where the webcam is. The duality of where you'd like to be and where you are currently. There is a bit of whiplash and inertia involved. And I think this card really speaks to that. The idea that you may feel like the walls are closing in on you. Especially because we did see the Hanged Man come out here. So I can tell that you are getting somewhat antsy. However, the emotional satisfaction you obtain from your final reward will be well worth the wait. Thank you, Libra, for joining me today. We will be moving on to the sign of Scorpio. One thing I would like to mention periodically this evening is that I do have a new album, which will be coming out very soon. The release date is today, but it is not live on any of the streaming sites as of the last time I checked. It's called Allegory of the Snake, and it is up on Bandcamp as well. And we'll be going live on the streaming sites very soon. Scorpio, 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 Scorpio. We already have a repeat offender, but you did see me shuffle the cards. I'll show you the Eight of Cups, but I think I'm going to shuffle the cards just a little bit better. Go ahead and just sit back and relax. And let your intention flow through the screen. About what it is that you'd like to achieve in December and on into January of next year. If the Eight of Cups comes out again, we will just roll with it. We do have the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands is a card of competition, but it is also a card speaking to the fact that you have achieved something quite admirable. You've achieved something that others desire to take. You may also feel like you are being judged, picked apart from all sides. But do understand, Scorpio, that with great power comes great responsibility. Scorpio, the next card I'm getting for you has a bit of oppositional energy to it. You can see that the throne on which the King of Pentacles sits is emblazoned with these carved ox heads for the sign of Taurus. Taurus is a fellow fixed sign. But whereas Taurus is very invested in their own financial stability and security, the sign of Scorpio is much more geared towards transitions and other people's resources. This King of Pentacles could represent a boss. This could represent you, especially if you do have Taurian energies in your chart. Maybe even a Venus in Taurus. The King of Pentacles can be your own financial stability and security. And it very well could be inciting envy and criticism in others. Thank you, Kayla. I hope you're having a pleasant start to your week as well. Scorpio, the next card for you is the Devil. Now, the Devil is not necessarily the worst person to run into. He's always willing to strike a deal. They are always willing to strike a deal. On this particular card, he does not have the normal, fantastic twins. The normal, fantastic twins are not present on this card, but I would say he's still probably like an A cup or so. However, there is always a little bit of danger when you deal with the Devil, as these two have found out. It's very cozy there, perhaps. There are all kinds of sins tempting them. They probably could remove these chains around their necks, but what fun would that be? The Devil is always encouraging you not to slip your bonds, but holding you back from the change you can achieve with the Tower. Another scorpionic energy. The Devil being Capricorn energy, and the Tower through alignment with the planet Mars. There we go. It's difficult for me to trace the signs because the way that I would normally trace them is backwards, so I apologize for that. Moon Scorpio, your next card. Libra got this also. You and Libra have a lot of cards in common, and you can see that I have been shuffling. The Page of Cups is an offer, and it could be money or it could be love. The fish up here in the Page's cup represents financial abundance. So we do have some very promising cards of financial abundance here. I don't know if I'll be able to see super chats or not. So, I'll just have to see. I haven't used OBS for a live stream for the tarot channel yet, but I have been using it over on my other channel. Scorpio, your next card is the Ace of Pentacles. This could be a new job offer. It can be a change, too, in the way that you perceive the energy of money that leads you to a breakthrough. And the two of these cards together would be a portend that perhaps a brand new financial offer is indeed coming in for you. And the final card for your reading. This is the final tarot card, and then of course we will consult Hellraiser. The King of Cups. As water sign energy, Scorpio, this very well could be you. In your power and success. The King of Cups is very emotionally balanced, a very nurturing person, and nurturing in an active sense. The kind of person who provides, who can put a roof over your head, who can take you out to a nice meal. That, of course, is not the only benefit of his power, and doing these things does not diminish him in any way. As his fountain is boundless. Would you give me just one moment? Just one moment. Just one moment. I just noticed something. There we go. That's better. That's much better. Yes, I did buy a few more squishmallows. What is your point? Christie's looking rough in this one. That was on the bottom of the deck. Here we go. we saw what Kirsty looked like. This is about a confrontation with Pinhead. Now, this is from Hellraiser 2, so this is not the first time that she is meeting with Pinhead. Her boyfriend, Channard, is being tortured and reshaped by Leviathan. Kirsty and Tiffany confront their own demons. Tiffany wanders into a ghoulish sideshow where she witnesses her mother's death at the hands of Dr. Channard. Lost in the labyrinth, Kirsty is cornered by the Cenobites. Oh, I guess Channard is like the doctor or something. I don't totally recollect all of the details. They're confident that Kirsty cannot find her way out of hell, so they generously allow her to explore. They will catch up later. Kirsty comes upon her father's house and feels she must enter and free him from hell. So there wasn't very much about facing Pinhead himself on the back of this card. It was mostly a story about Kirsty, and of course, her card was on the bottom of the deck, and I showed you that before I pulled this card. But there are demons you're fighting at this time. You are fighting them, but they might not be immediately present. They might not be as readily apparent as some of the more pressing things in your life, such as this new offer and the potential for your advancement. But the Cenobites live in hell. That is their home. Whatever demons you are normally fighting will still be there. And I feel like there are some underlying currents. Some very dark underlying currents over the next few weeks that may spice things up a bit for you. Let's put it like that, as this is a general reading. Alright, Scorpio. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's move on to the sign of Sagittarius. And Sagittarius, if you would just relax. I know, Manny, me too. I saw you at the meeting. Sagittarius, relax and allow your intention to flow through the screen and into the cards. The first card that's coming out for you tonight, Sagittarius, is the Six of Cups. And the Six of Cups is a card about returning from the past. Something returning from the past. This can be something from your early childhood too. You can see that both of the figures on this card are very young. Very young. It's a card of good feelings, comfort, and nostalgia. We are not always invited into the spaces of the past. One of the things about memory which makes it so melancholy is that many of those places are now inaccessible. But every so often there is a glimmer of being able to recapture something that you have experienced before. Sagittarius, you must be very in your feelings. Because the next card I have here is the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups and the Six of Cups together could be seen as a wish fulfillment, certainly. If we're talking strictly about math, this could also be a very close friend or a very close group of friends returning from the past. This could be friends that you haven't seen or spoken to in a very long time. Uh-oh. We do have the Seven of Swords coming out. Their motivations for returning into your life might not be the purest. They could think that you have something to offer them. They could be trying to get something from you. Or they could not really have an agenda at all. And you end up spending your time and resources trying to accommodate them. So what we're seeing, rather than the Six of Cups and the Three of Cups coming together to make the Nine of Cups, it could just be the illusion of the Nine of Cups. I would be very careful of any situations where people are returning to you from the past, especially if these are friends who, though you hold them very dear to your heart, maybe have demons of their own. Contagious demons. The next card I see for you here is the Ace of Cups. So this is encouraging you to make a new emotional commitment, whether that's to yourself or to someone else, but bringing in fresh emotional energies, making new friends and new connections. This is also about leaving in the past things which are emotional baggage. So not just leaving things in the past that no longer serve you, but getting rid of your grudges, getting rid of your traumas, addressing your traumas. You can't always just erase them, unfortunately. But this is urging you to seek out new life and new civilizations, and to boldly go where no one has gone before. And Sagittarius, you are an adventurer. I know you've got it in you. Because indeed the next card we have coming out is the Star. And the Star is a card associated with Aquarius, which has to do with our friend groups, our social groups. It has to do with the allocation of our resources regarding these groups also. There are 2 lunar mansions specific to Aquarius, and one of them is about the upper spout, that is the spout from which abundance flows, and there is another spout, and that spout it's called the lower spout, but it's actually more like when there is a crack in the vessel and the fluid leaks out and is wasted. It is about wasted potentials, wasted energies, wasted resources in general. So these new friendships that you nurture could very well bring wish fulfillment and new hopes and dreams to fruition. The final tarot card for your reading, and then of course we'll move on to Hellraiser. We have another ace. This one's a very sexy ace. It is active fire energy, the pure active fire energy within the minor arcana of the tarot. The Ace of Wands. Even the little leaves look very much like Yods. Yod is a very sacred letter because it is the first letter in the name of God. The Ace of Wands is a masculine fertility and has to do with power, strength, virility, and the energy to move forward and begin something brand new. So this is from Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth, and this is where the protagonist of Hellraiser 3, which is a woman named Joey, finds herself down in hell. And then other scenes were spliced in to convey the history of another character, such that there was more continuity. is seeing the character portrayed in one way at the beginning of the scene, and then all of this interim story intercut with these scenes of this character, Joey, walking around hell, and all the figures in chains, to this final form of another form of that same character at the end of the scene. And to me, this very much speaks to the Seven of Swords energy. There are all kinds of people in our past. People that we love dearly, but we can never see again. And there are all kinds of reasons why we would not be able to spend time around these people. In this particular case, Sagittarius, I think this person is very much the same person that you've always known. And it's going to be much more important for you to make some fresh beginnings in your social groups. The fire and the water here being active and passive energies, beautifully balanced. And the star supervising over it all. Go be a star, Sagittarius. I know you can. I know you are. Alright, so that is the reading for Sagittarius. And now we will move on to Capricorn. Capricorn. And we're making excellent time here. It looks like this live stream will probably be a similar length to the first. I do feel like I really like using OBS so far for this live stream. So I'll have to watch back the video and see how it turns out. I watched the other video back and I realized there was this loud buzzing the whole time, and I was very upset about that, so I do apologize for the lack of audio fidelity in the previous installment. Make notes about my timestamps. Capricorn, go ahead and set your intention. Sit back and relax. To mention that I have a new album coming out very soon. I'm not sure when it will be available on streaming sites, but it is on Bandcamp already, and it's called Allegory of the Snake. very much in your feelings, I see. We have the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups urges you to trust your gut and trust your heart. This is not about trusting your kneecap that acts up when it rains. This is about really listening to your intuition in situations. We have the Four of Wands. Now, the Four of Wands is a card of marriage. So, in that case, the Knight of Cups could represent love coming into you very quickly. This could be a union or a celebration that progresses very quickly. A fast-moving relationship. Not every reading is a love reading, of course, so we'll have to see as I pull more cards. We do have the Five of Cups coming out. So it progressed very quickly from the Four of Wands and celebration to the Five of Cups and disappointment. That Knight of Cups could be bringing in something from the past, as the Five of Cups plus the one cup from the Knight of Cups would be the Six of Cups. It could be that you had a relationship, whether recently or some time ago, in which things progressed very quickly to engagement or marriage, and that this relationship ended in disappointment, or that there was disappointment associated with it. We have the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is a bit of playing the field kind of energy. Could be somebody who's much younger and virile. The Page of Wands could also be the beginning of a creative project, such that you have this passionate energy you are channeling into it, and it has just started. Some very funky sort of energies going on in your reading, Capricorn. these cards all look very promising. And then these cards come out, and I just wonder, what are you doing? So, with this Page of Wands, we have the Seven of Swords. This could be somebody playing the field and also not being entirely genuine about their intentions. The Seven of Swords is a very deceptive energy. It can be self-deceptive energy, but it can also just be somebody who keeps their true intentions well hidden because they wish to obtain things from others that they don't think they would be able to get if they were honest. And the last tarot card for your reading, Capricorn, is the Nine of Wands. This is a card about being very guarded. It is a card about defensiveness, defensive behaviors. And again, using tarot math, when we take the one wand from the Page of Wands, the Page of Wands also is somewhat of a naive person, and we combine it with this Nine of Wands energy. It can be the burden and oppression behind the Ten of Wands. It could be for some of you Capricorns that the Seven of Swords is an energy being directed at you. But if you're deceiving yourself about what your motivations might be in certain situations, especially if after the disappointments of the past you're not really looking for anything serious, it's going to lead you to be very defensive. Let's see what is here in the Hellraiser deck. What would Kirsty do? These are a little bit difficult to shuffle, and I hope that you'll stick with me. Okay, so here we have, this is from the third Hellraiser movie. We have the protagonist, Joey, kneeling here on the floor in great distress And these two Cenobites flanking her are moving in to attack. The one Cenobite blows smoke in her face and burns her with a cigarette, and the other pokes her with this rod that they are carrying and bring her to her knees. They're taunting her, and they're getting ready to inflict real suffering. Well, in fact, the Page of Wands does have a wand, and might not be so prudent with it. Somebody who's not going to be very cautious with your feelings. And this could leave you feeling very betrayed and attacked. This is something that you should be treating very casually. Very casually indeed. The Page of Wands energy is not the energy of a person who is anyway going to commit. Very young, very immature energy. And if you treat it seriously, then you could be in for torture and suffering. This doesn't just have to do with relationships that are romantic in nature either. The Page of Wands could be a reckless fire sign child, someone in the teenage years even. And there could be issues of abandonment from your past that make you very vulnerable to the specific kind of antagonizing that they're dishing out right now. So, I would urge you to take a step back from this person if you are at all able, Capricorn. Or at least make sure that you keep your heart very well guarded. Alright, so that winds up the Capricorn reading. Let's move on to Pisces. Let's move on to Aquarius. I don't want to get ahead of myself. We'll move on to the sign of Aquarius. Aquarians, I want you to sit back and relax and meditate. Meditate and project outward what it is that you would like to bring in for the end of this year, the beginning of the next. have the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles could represent a brand new job coming in for you, or a new opportunity to make money. This could represent a good investment proposal. This could also be a new business that you are starting of your very own. Oh, thank you. The next card we have for you, Aquarius, is the Tower. The Tower's not always bad. Just like wildfires are not always bad, although it's much better if you can do a controlled burn before a wildfire begins. It could be that this job exists because of a disaster, or that because of some destruction, some clearing out of old stagnant energies in your life or in the collective, new financial opportunities are coming to light for you. We do also have the Page of Wands coming out here in a completely different, completely different context than the Page of Pentacles. Completely different context than in the Capricorn reading I just gave. So the Page of Wands and the Page of Pentacles together like this means that you will have the active, creative energy, the young, precocious energy that will be required to follow through with this opportunity. Taking the lightning strike from the disaster of the Tower and using it to light a torch. And indeed, Aquarius, we have the great and fertile Mother Goddess herself coming out to reinforce that idea that a project has been fertilized and is now gestating and getting ready to be born. We have the Four of Cups. You will be spoiled for good choices, Aquarius, for options. You may have a handful of clients clamoring for your time and energy. This means that you can charge them whatever you think is fair, and they will be more than happy to pay it. Aquarius, this could be a very competitive field. I wouldn't worry too much. The last tarot card for your spread, before we move to the Hellraiser deck, is the Five of Swords. And the Five of Swords here is a card of victory. You have these two figures in the background walking away, while the victorious figure in the foreground collects the bounty, the spoils. You may lose some friends over this, Aquarius, but I wouldn't worry about it too much. You should be happy to let go anyone who doesn't want to see you succeed. All right. Move on to the Hellraiser cards. So, this card is from Hellraiser 2, Hellbound. And you can see Pinhead is featured prominently on this card. However, the backstory of this card is slightly different. A World War I era British officer sits alone in a sparsely furnished barracks, holding a lament configuration box. He has heard the whispered tales of a gateway to experiences beyond mortal knowledge. He unlocks the box's secret, and it in turn unlocks his own dark side. In a fury of hooks, chains, knives, and nails, the soldier is transformed into one of Leviathan's greatest henchmen. With no memory of his human self, he serves hell faithfully as Pinhead, leader of the Cenobites. So we get a little bit, a nice little peek into what Pinhead's life was like before he became a Cenobite. Now, it's very interesting because, as you know, if you watch the series, not everybody who finds the lament configuration gets to become a Cenobite, that's for sure. It takes a very special kind of person. Somebody who has the skills, the ruthlessness, and the bloodthirst required to do what is needed. This is your golden opportunity, Aquarius, to step into your new form. This new role for you could be just what you've always been waiting for. Okay, Aquarius. So that is your reading for this round. And now we will be moving on to the sign of Pisces. information going into this final portion of the reading. I have a new album coming out of music, and it is called Allegory of the Snake. It's going to be on major streaming platforms very soon. I'm not entirely sure when. And is already out on Bandcamp. And I would greatly appreciate it if you would stream it lots and lots. Okay, Pisces. Let's go for it. Pisces, the first card that you get for your reading is the Justice card. There could be a situation where you were seeking justice. The Justice card is also aligned with the sign of Libra, so it could represent a Libran, an air sign, Libran in your life. We have the Queen of Cups. Pisces, this is very much your energy. One of the major traits which separates the nurturing Queen of Cups from the equally nurturing King of Cups is that the Queen of Cups tends to be much more closed off when it comes to expressing her own emotions. You could have very greatly hoped that someone or some situation that has impacted you greatly, that things might turn around in that situation, such that you don't have to communicate your own emotional needs where it is concerned. The next card we have here is the King of Pentacles. This is Taurus's card. It is fixed sign energy, very stable. Not very much like mutable water energy at all, actually. And very good for your finances. The King of Pentacles can be a boss, can be a benefactor, or could even represent your own abundant energy. These two make quite a pair. It could be that there was some situation where you were owed money, or you deserved more pay, or something like that. And you didn't want to make waves, and perhaps didn't say anything about it. It looks like that payout is coming through for you, Pisces, very soon. the Nine of Cups. Wish fulfillment. Wish fulfillment. Wish fulfillment. So, with this Nine of Cups, there will be a wish coming through for you as well. This wish could have to do with whatever the Justice card is describing, that situation, but it could also be in addition to that. We have the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles, you can see he's holding on to these resources very tightly. This is about being able to save. It could be that you've been waiting to have enough money that you would be able to start a savings account. And if that is a wish that you have had, it will be coming true very soon. And in a very interesting turn of events, Pisces, we get the Judgment card. This is triumph in a time of trial. The Judgment card is very different from the Justice card, but is also the same. It is twice as much. Well, rather not. The Judgment card is 20. So it is quite a progression away from the Justice card. The Judgment card being initiation, trial by fire, and finally reaching that point at which you ascend. Very good reading for you, Pisces. Very good reading. So, this is a card from Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth. And in this particular card, this character is a soldier, I think Corporal Elliot or something like that. And he was responsible for the creation of Pinhead. We talk a bit about where Pinhead came from in this movie. And so they end up kind of fusing together, as shown here on this card. And this, of course, causes Pinhead to drop the puzzle box as usual. Butterfingers Pinhead yet again. This is very much like you fusing with the past versions of yourself and becoming like the Super Saiyan version of the Pisces we all know and love. These two are very responsible for each other. Elliot had quite a hand in the creation of Pinhead, and in turn, Pinhead may have artificially extended his life by merit of the circular notion of time. But in your case, Pisces, yes, I believe that that card speaks to your fusion this could be with parts of the self. It could be with another person. So we do have the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups here. This could be you and a Taurus or Earth sign person. And in that next row, we did have the Nine of Cups and the Four of Pentacles. So Cups and Pentacles all over this reading. The marriage of emotional contentment and financial success. Congratulations, Pisces, you made it. Excuse me. Thank you to everyone who joined me on the live stream today. I greatly appreciate your support. And I look forward to seeing you again very